In qualifying, the Subaru looked like it had the pace early on, and it always goes well here, but Michael Stephen had other ideas. He was starting to fly high and trying to get away from Farid. Reese put in a great lap time and it made it BMW's 1 and 2, because Taylor was not holding anything back.
So let's have a look at the front row as it was BMW, Taylor and Priest.
It's an all-wheel drive and Quattro second row with Stephen and Groenewald.
In fifth, the other Audi Extreme was Chop Sabuka, and leading the championship standings, Johan Farid.
Down in 6th place. And behind him, Richard Pinnard in the second of the Subarus.
A 106.2, considering no weight, but still, that bodes well.
Yeah, no, it does. You know, coming up to the reef, we knew that we were going to have a slight advantage over the Audis. But, you know, it's going to be a long race. We get 70 kilos now for the 2 short races, which is definitely going to make a difference. I just hope that, well, I know we've got a car that's going to last well, and we just have to pull off a win. You know, especially being up here at Zwartkops, it's pretty much our home track, and for all the people, you know, we got quite a big crowd here from Afrox and BMW. So yeah, we really do need to show what the car is made of.
There's a 16-point gap between Michael Stephen and Johan Farid. How significant is getting third and 3 positions over Johan Farid in qualifying?
Yeah, it's really critical. You know, with third position on the grid, we get an extra point. We narrow that gap down to 15. You know, at the end of the championship, every point counts. You'll obviously, you know, start further back. This track's, you know, heavy on the brakes. It's heavy on the engine temperature. So the more cars you're behind in a tow, you know, the hotter your car's going to run. So we're up front, and hopefully we'll be able to stay out there and collect some more points in the race.
It's exactly what you need to do, Michael Stephen. Race 1 about to get going. It is the sprint lap race. And here we go, 2 BMWs. Right behind them, the 2 Engine Extreme Audis, the Subarus in there, 2 of Henny Groenewald, but more importantly, down in 6th place with a lot of work to do, Johan Farid. He didn't get a good drop off the line there, unfortunately, Steve. And it looks like he's going to have even more work to do now.
Well, he'll be comforted by the fact that he has a 16-point lead over Michael Stephen at the moment, and that can evaporate in a heartbeat, that's for sure. So, as we get into this, it's a tight, windy, and very demanding racetrack. Very hard on the brakes, as you said earlier on.
Extremely hard on the brakes. These guys are going to have to take it real easy. The sprint race, not too bad, but remember, we do have a 2-hour endurance coming up a little bit later on in the show, so that's what they're all going to be worried about. They're going to go at it, hammer and tongs, no doubt, here in the sprint races, but they do need to take into account they cannot break the cars. It's very vital to stay around for that endurance race. There are some big points up for grabs there.
You're talking about racing drivers. They drive these things flat out. They're not really worried. They leave that sort of stuff to the mechanics. Hey, it's broken, fix it.
Exactly. Hopefully they can fix it, but that's why they're going to maybe just hang back a little bit. Farid, though, is not doing anything of that. He is all over the back, and we go on board with him now, coming out of turn 6. Flicking left into Execuline corner, down the little straightaway towards Goldwagen. This is where these guys really get hard on the anchors to go down the gearbox 1 gear and then turn into Goldwagen corner. Very much line astern stuff right now, and it doesn't look like the 4-wheel drives, any of them, have got the match of the rear-wheel drives at the front.
Yeah, it's got to be concerning for Johan Farid as well, particularly in qualifying. It's not where he wants to be, and he'll know that Michael Stephen is performing, getting a little bit off the dirt at the moment. That was Melville Priest. Of course, speaking to Donovan van Heerden, they've brought a big and strong package to this race day.
Now, they're trying something different in those cars. One of them running the standard injector, and of course a brand new one being brought on there. Seems to be working well because Taylor's running it and he's getting away at the front end of the field. Farid all over the back of Groenewald. Groenewald is not going to let him through. Remember, today is a Sassel race day, so these Sassel Subarus maybe got a little bit more pressure on them than anywhere else around the country.
Well, sure, when you get a naming right for your day, you really want to perform, and guaranteed they've brought all their sponsors down to witness this as well. Heading
up towards Sassel corner now. This is where late braking might just come into effect, and it does. Look at how Farid closes up on Groenewald, but Groenewald just keeping that Subaru STI absolutely as wide as possible. Trying to close down on Michael Stephen. Now, they've done that slightly as Michael Stephen is losing a bit of ground to the 2 BMs at the front end, heading down to Goldwagen to complete another lap.
Yeah, they're very strong at the moment, and this is a very, very difficult racetrack to pass on. You really got to barge your way through there, so it'll go back to that point of rubbing his racing. Strong package right now. Taylor, Priest, then Stephen. Here comes Groenewald at the moment, and Johan Farid is not making any ground, and that's worrying.
It's very worrying. It's great for Michael Stephen as we go on board with Melville Priest. Now check this out. Got a bit of onboard camera. You can see the rear view there on the left-hand side of your screen. That is Michael Stephen. He's got Taylor in front of him. But check it how well this BMW accelerates. Up to 160 k's an hour as they come out of turn 3. 180 as they get onto that back straightaway. And it's probably going to go just over the 200 k an hour mark before he climbs on the brakes. And it's literally just rolling off and straight back onto it again. Brilliant stuff here, and that's the kind of racing we like to see. These guys are not holding anything back. I thought they would be.
Yeah, I'm looking at that odometer right now. I'm actually quite impressed with the kind of quarter speed that they are carrying. It may not look like it's quick, but it is frighteningly quick over there. And of course, you've had an opportunity to be in those deep BMWs as well.
Yeah, we got a chance last time out here, last year in the BMWs, and actually I was in with Anthony Taylor, who leads the race, so I kind of know how it feels to win that race out right now as a passenger. But the two stealth bombers with the Akrapovic pipes are getting away from the rest of the field as they come in a Goldwagen once again. Look at Ferrari. He's working hard in that cockpit, but it's definitely not going his way here in race 1.
Final lap it is, and Taylor is large and in charge at the moment, and doing a great job in protecting him at the moment. Over Stephen is Melville Priest.
Now, Melville Priest is sitting comfortably in second place, but Michael Stephen, he did bridge the gap, but he wasn't able to get past Melville Priest. Unfortunately, I think it was a little bit too little too late there for Michael Stephen as Anthony Taylor comes into the final turn for the final time of race 1, and he's going to take 13 points there. Great race. Aprox BMWs 1 and 2. Engine Extreme Audi of Michael Stephen in third place. And as we said, it is going to be a tough day in the saddle for these guys. There's the confirmation. Taylor and Priest, BMWs 1 and 2. Michael Stephen, the first of the Audis. Henny Krunewold hung on to fourth, and Ferrari in fifth.
Dominating, great package, good ride, and you must be stoked.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, to start off a day like this, brilliant. You know, with a pole position for race 1 win. You know, I think it all just pays dividends to the guys at ADF Motorsport that have been putting in the extra time. Also, the guys from Motec with the new M1 direct injection system that we're running. It certainly has proven that it does work, and I think it's the way to go for the future.
So, Bridgestone Production Car Championship Racing at Zwartkops round 8, and we go to race 2. And of course, once again, this is horrible for Johan Ferrari, who remains fifth and doesn't get involved in this inverted grid of 4 cars. But what it does do is put out the Subaru in front.
And a big surprise, we went for a rolling start again. No one going to give us a standing start here anytime this season. Back on board with Priest. He's on the back end of Stephen. And look at how Michael Stephen, he's really pushing hard. Remember, he's trying to get as many points away from Ferrari as possible. And now with the 2 BMWs as a buffer, he's done everything right.
As I said, it was cruel on Ferrari. If we had a 6-car inverted grid, which we normally do, where's this 4 coming from? And a rolling start? What's the standing start? I've never seen one.
No, not in production cars for a long time. But we might see one yet. There's still a race to go. We're coming back here on the 26th of November, and we've got 4 sprint races heading your way on that day. Up towards Sassel Corner once again, and it is a Sassel Subaru that leads out. Now, Henny Krunewold is at the front end of this field on the Sassel race day. Dude, no one's going to catch him.
Yeah, you're definitely right. My money's on this, and I know the race isn't even over yet, but I'll tell you what, when he gets his nose in front, he is strong. He is the king of reverse grids.
Well, they come down now, and Michael Stephen is normally that man. But right now in Goldwagen, he's sitting in second place. He wasn't able to capitalize on that front row, and the Subaru just got away. And I think, as you said, if Henny Krunewold stays there and starts to pull the kind of gap he's done on lap 1, he's definitely going to be in contention for a win here at the end of the sprint race.
Yeah, weather is absolutely brilliant, and what a super turnout here in the Highveld, getting down to the penultimate round. It's a 60k corner round there as well. They have to be really good, and then get on the power, because they've got a right-hander which just sweeps, and you can really get up to a good speed. And maybe just before you get into the braking marker, okay, around about 200, 210, 20, it really is quite quick.
Now just getting over the 200km/h mark, and there you go, at the 50-meter mark, just down the gearbox and back through turn 4. Castle Edge corner now heading up towards Sassel. Sassel Subaru out front with Michael Stephen on his tail. It's kind of a battle of the all-wheel versus Quattro, but also the battle of the lubricants, because Engine is being beaten at the moment by Sassel. Oh, that's a late braking there from Priest. He definitely had a big look there, but unfortunately the door was shut and he couldn't get through.
Yeah, he's allowed Taylor to actually creep a little closer on that as well. And we always know that there's no racing orders, team orders in this Team Aprox BMW team at all. So it's a free-for-all, a bun fight, and it's the better driver wins on the day. So Priest is leading out Taylor. Ferrari is desperately still charging.
He's trying to find a way past, but the BMs have got such good pace here this weekend. It's not going to be easy. In the background, Sabuka and Bernard going at it too. So at the front of this race, it's 1 Subaru and 1 Audi, and at the back, the same 2, but the opposite of the teams. So having a great battle at the back end there, no doubt about it. The one we've got to watch out for, though, is Johan Ferrari. Remember, he came into this race leading the championship still, but it's going to be even less of a gap and less of a margin for Michael Stephen to make up now if he can stay where he is and keep Ferrari in that 5th spot.
Well, let's remember and recap. He came in here 16 points leading this championship. The penultimate round, this is going to be a tight championship. I think it's going to go next round.
I think it's going to go down to that next round, depending on what happens in the endurance race a little bit later on in the show. And we'll bring that to you very shortly. Right now, Ferrari, you can see, unfortunately, just doesn't have an answer. he's going to have to settle for 5th place unless something goes wrong with the BMs. And listen, it's happened. We've seen lots of action in production cars this year and lots of action still to come.
Well, we've also seen the fact that if we think about midway through this season in our winter break, Groenewald was leading the championship by 13 points. Now he finds himself about 30 points behind in 3rd. He hasn't got a prayer at this stage.
Well, if he's in the front end of the field, he's still got an opportunity of closing down, maybe stealing 2nd place away from one of the 2 Audis that are in 1 and 2 at this stage. Ferrari comes onto the brakes for her next corner. This is turn 2, a very difficult corner, as you can see on Priest telemetry. It's about 60 kilometers an hour, and then it's everything she's got down this back straightaway.
Yeah, it takes them all the way up. I love that piece where we call it the Mercedes complex. It really is a demanding, tight, twisty turn. And there he is, race leader at the moment, Henny Groenewald, on the sponsored day. It's the Sassel race day.
And the Sassel Subaru is about to take the victory away from Michael Stephen. Now, Michael Stephen tried hard. 2nd place will be good enough considering the fact that Ferrari is 2 positions back on him. The 2 BMWs have not been able to get past Stephen. So coming across the line, Henny Groenewald will take race 2's victory ahead of Michael Stephen. All-wheel drive versus Quattro. 2 rear-wheel drive cars, the Aprox BMWs behind him. And then, of course, it was Johan Ferrari down in 5th place. The confirmation of those results at the front end on the Sassel race day, the Sassel Subaru. Michael Stephen in 2nd place, Priest in 3rd, Taylor in 4th place, and Ferrari down in 5th.
On the Sassel sponsored race day, what a relief.
Big relief, you know. I have to say such a huge big thank you to my guys. They haven't slept last night. We changed 2 engines in the course of the evening in the team, and you know, really it's a repayment for them for all their hard work. And at the same time, you know, it's been a payment for Sassel and Subaru on the Sassel race day to have at least a win before the endurance race. You know, it's a good start leading up to the endurance event.
You're reeling in your home Ferrari, and the points is getting smaller and smaller. It's a good start to the day for you.
Yeah, most definitely. Since we got here, we've showed good pace. The BMs are quite strong, and so are the Subarus, but I think we're a good match for them. The first race, I got a 3rd and 2nd in the 2nd race. Pretty uneventful, but the temperatures here in the middle of the day is quite extreme. So for the Enduro, it should be a bit better, and hopefully we can haul some more points back.